Hello and welcome everyone to this recap video of the quarterfinals of the Air Things Masters. And it was an action-packed day, lots of fun, lots of learning, and lots of interesting games. Let's jump right into it. Our first game is between world champion Magnus Carlsen versus Daniel Dubov, and it was a really interesting game. And Carlsen won this game in typical Carlsen style, guys. So it is around move 18 here where Dubov makes his first inaccuracy here. He plays, Dubov tries to go for the aggressive thing, but he enters an end game, which is not really good because here Magnus picks up a pawn, guys, because note there will always be a back rank mate here in case White is losing the knight then. And as you can see, pieces come off the board again. More pieces are traded. Magnus wins another pawn, but he lost the pawn on d4, so he's still one pawn up. And guys, this is the main position that I really wanted to show you guys is around here. This is why Carlsen is known as the king of endgames. He ignores this pawn. He doesn't defend this or defend it timidly. Instead, he starts pushing the passed pawn, guys. Remember that with a5, because this is much more closer to a queen. Gives up a pawn. The rook is always much better behind the passed pawn in both the cases. And here, like Dubov really tried hard to hang on, but now Carlsen bringing his king, both the players bringing the kings, and it was finally Carlsen who maneuvered his king beautifully. You see, White is always a piece up. White is playing with two pieces, rook and king, whereas Black only has a rook because this king doesn't do much. And as we'll see, let's have a quick look till the end. Here again, mate is threatened, so he has to give a check. Now these pawns are hanging and Magnus converts beautifully here. A very, very nice game by Magnus. And it just shows why Dubov should stick to his style. And we'll very, very quickly see that and how that helped Dubov win the next game. And here, guys, this pawn is just cruising and this pawn will be lost. And again, very, very nice technique. Just pick up the pawn and after a check, you don't even have to give up this pawn. You just intervene and Magnus wins the first game. So the quarterfinals is of four games of one set. So it's a best of three. Whoever wins two sets. So if you score 2.5 in one set, you win one set. So the goal is to score 2.5 on one day and 2.5 again on the other day, or a 2-2 draw. So basically, if you win best of two, otherwise if both sets are drawn, then we head into an Armageddon, guys. So after this game, they drew the next game, but it wasn't long before Dubov struck back beautifully with the black pieces here, and we'll jump right in around move 19. As I was talking to you, Carlsen is like the slow end game player, but Dubov is like bam, bam, bam with his new ideas, his aggressive play, and you see why I'm saying so. He goes for his aggressive ideas. Queen to g5, rook is threatening. King is here. Dubov likes to attack on his king. After queen c1, h5, he's gonna go. He's not uh, worried about anything. Gives up a pawn again, but the main juice is on the king here. Takes a pawn, trades a rook, but guys, this king is very, very dangerous. Now, there are some threats, I can just maybe pick up this pawn, I can give a check, I can do this. Too many threats to handle, and Magnus should have traded queens here, but he misses this. He plays queen d7, f6 follows, and here you see now this is already a threat. Check and whoops, not this one. H3 check and rook e1 check. Some threats are brewing, and Magnus is forced to make a concession. And here, very, very nice attacking play, guys. By already, you see, after this, if you make a silly move, it is already queen g4 is made. So you have to be very careful here. And Magnus is a very strong player. But this idea, rook e6, bringing the rook around, and mate is threatened. So Carlsen moves his rook and check. Queen f4, beautiful move, tightening the screws. Check is threatened. This is threatened. Magnus pins the rook here, but I just move the king, and Dubov is happy to win this because a check, king has to go here, and I think you just trade everything here, and you get a new baby girl on h1, and it's a queen. So after this, they drew one more game, and the total score between Carlsen and Dubov is 2-2 in the first set. They'll play again tomorrow. If it's 2-2 again, then they'll play an Armageddon. So plenty more action coming up between these two very good friends, and Dubov has also worked as Magnus's second earlier. So this was our world champion. Let's jump right in to another interesting match between Wesley So and the Sicilian Najdorf king, Maxi Pasha Lagra, who is also the leader of the candidates, guys. So, as usual, Najdorf player always plays Najdorf. He just shows that he's happy with the draw, but Wesley just wants to try with his white pieces. And action picks up around this position where MVL gives a check. After c3, look at the laser eye tactical vision of MVL. He goes boom, knight f3 check, beautiful move. Now he takes this as well. Now he wants to retake on c3 and capture this rook, and a very risky position, but hey, that is what you get in the night off. And you can see white has 1 2 3 4 5 pieces, whereas black has only 4, but white is, his king hasn't castled. You will see, and Wesley doesn't castle in both his games with the white pieces, and they're not developed at all. Whereas black's rooks are going to come into the game very fast. And just let's have a quick look what happened here. And some checks follows, and here a very nice move. Remember, you cannot capture this because the rook on h8 hangs, so be careful. And here he plays the calm move, rook e8, rook f8, and now e5. He's going to get stuff, but the point is, white's king is still in shambles, and like Wesley pays the price. He even shaved on board, guys. On camera today. That was really fun. So you can watch the highlights on the live stream as well. And yeah, this was nice conversion by MVL. You see, even if you give a check, everything is protected. You give a check here, no problem. I'll run up. And the point is, again, rook h3 is a mate threat like we saw in the Carlsen game with the pins. You see, this rook is pinning the king, and check. You just go up, and now we'll have a very nice finish. Black to play and win. Boom. 3 checks, you win the game, and that's number one. That's number two check. And Wesley resigned without even seeing the third check. That is Queen G1 picks up the rook, and Black is like a million pawns up. And again, they drew the following game, after which MVL played Black again, and he crushed Wesley again. And in which opening? Of course, the Sicilian Najdorf. And again, supreme knowledge of the opening, supreme understanding as we jump into this position. He plays the enterprising move, knight h5, exploiting the fact that you cannot take here because of check and takes. So bishop goes back, and you see White's king is again in shambles, can't castle. But kudos to Wesley, who tried very hard, because the guys, if you lose 4-0 or you lose 2.5, 1.5, it's the same because you only lose one set. So Wesley really tried hard, went for the win, and that is why he crumbled and even lost the game. But kudos to him for taking the extra risk, because a draw or a loss are the same. And MVL will like just get his rooks up in the open files, and like white has given up a pawn, but for no combination. You see this, the king side is very well protected, and now he has the double battery on the f file. Pieces will enter soon, as we'll see very instructive play by MVL. And again, everything is protected very nicely. Then look at the knights, look at the pieces, beautiful pieces for black. And I don't like white's position. Look at the knight especially. And after a few trades, again, g6, such a cool move. You can't give a check, this is controlling. You can't give a check, this is controlling. So queen has to go back, and now it's MVL's turn to enter, forcing a queen trade. This is not at all lost, but there are no serious chances for white to win. And Wesley just threw in the towel, resigned the game. He loses the first set, but he has a chance to make a comeback. And remember, he is the champion of the Skilling Open. So Wesley is definitely a force to reckon with, so we cannot just eliminate him for now. Jumping into another superstar of the pandemic, Hikaru Nakamura. He had a very interesting game against his good friend Levon Aronian, one of his best friends, as Hikaru himself claims. And in this seemingly deadlock position, Aronian keeps on piling the pressure. This is a skill that, guys, you should also learn. Just keep fighting, keep pushing, keep trying as white. And you see, he'll not try to get his rooks here, trying to make some sacrifice, trying to penetrate somehow. And his persistence breaks finally Hikaru. And here Queen f7 was the only drawing chance for Hikaru, but he played the move Rook d7, Now it's white to play and win. Can you smash? Can you find the winning move? And bam, that's right, you smash here. You can't take this because it's check. You can't play rook h6 because this is hanging. You can't play king here because I just go rook g6 and it's game over. Instead, the game continued after rook d7. Queen takes. Again, you can't take with the rook because of this check. And after king takes, now this queen has to manage its way somehow into the black camp because this bishop on e5 is a beast. This bishop on d3 is a paper tiger, not at all worrying for white. And here we see queen comes in, and now Hikaru is just is lost because there's too many threats coming in. Protects the pawn, but queen e7, rook b8, and he didn't even wait for Aronian to show him the mate after check, check. Again, king h6 and a simple move, bishop g5. Whatever you do, I'll play bishop g5 check. Even if you take rook g5, I'll take with a pawn and give a checkmate to you. And all three other games ended in a draw. Hikaru even was totally lost in the last game, but Aronian very smartly accepted the draw because you are not getting rating points, you're not getting anything. So it's a very simple decision to move on. So Nakamura has lost the first leg, but remember he is a beast on these in these online matches, and he beat Aronian after losing the first set in the last tournament as well. So I definitely wouldn't bet against Nakamura at this point. And finally, the last quarterfinal between Teimur Ragyabov and Jan Nepomniachtchi had a really, really interesting match. First three games, all draws. Suddenly, in the last game, Ragyabov was presented with an opportunity. Remember, if you win one set, which is very important. And it is around this position that we'll join the action. Here, if you just play a simple move like King G2, White is forced to take a draw after takes, and there is nothing. And Radyabov, who was pushing throughout, had a chance to play like something like King G4. Mind you, now you cannot take this because you see the bar rising up slowly. And yes, F4 is the move. And the point being, if you move your rook, I just capture your bishop with both my. I can capture it with anything. And you have to take, and sadly, this won't be enough to hold. Might take some time, but White is going to win this in the long run. So he missed that chance. Now they enter into this endgame, a very, very interesting endgame, guys. Don't think this is just a draw because this knight, can come to f5 and create some troubles. I'll put the game in the description for you guys to follow. And the main point I want to show you is around this position, guys. So you see, this game was the longest game of the tournament, so for 104 moves. And finally, after a lot of maneuvering, he plays g6, has to takes. Now, what is White's threat? If Black plays something random move, White is totally winning by playing knight e6, brilliant move. The plan is, I'll just give h7 check. You have to go here, and now I'll play this, and this is an unavoidable mate. So you have to be really, really careful here. Like Nepo was obviously another leader of the candidates, played king f8, and sadly there is no way to outmaneuver. Like you can play a million moves. This is not a Zugzwang. You don't have to take. Then White wins after this, but it's just a draw. White can try all he wants, but finally this game ended in a draw. Nepomniachtchi with the big, big save of the day. Like Carlsen and Dubov, they also end with 2-2, drawing the first set. So whoever wins tomorrow goes through to the semi-finals. It was an absolute pleasure looking at these amazing games, and I hope you guys had fun too. And we'll be back with recap of round two. Remember, if it's a 2-2 draw or if both the players have one set each, we will have an Armageddon tomorrow itself. There are no rest days, and this is going to be super fun. And do stick around, do stay tuned. Bye.